Hello. Welcome to my channel, Matty G111. Today we've got three individuals speaking with me for episode 3. We have, say your names, guys.
Tani.
Tani.
I'm Holly.
Holly.
And Tara.
And Tara, yeah. Two of them are, of course, very shy. I've just thrusted upon them this little podcast. The reason why we are speaking today is because I found Holly, because she's an old friend and I know her pretty well, and we got to talking at her work about the morals of meat and how she had a bit of kind of a dilemma, not in a sense like you've had like you're thinking about like is it right or wrong in a sense. You're kind of in a bit of a
I don't know, because like I love animals, but then I love meat and they taste delicious, but I don't want to see them die or get hurt and all that sort of fun jazz.
Yeah,
like it's like I have an internal dilemma.
Conflict.
Conflict inside. But I'm like, well,
So
I don't know.
So you're fine with eating meat, but you feel horrible. You feel bad for the animals that have to die for that meat.
Yeah. Like sometimes I've like the other day, especially I was standing in the supermarket looking at like meat I wanted to get. I'm like, do I really want to buy this? I'm just visualizing the animal it came from. I'm just gonna leave now, and I had to come back another time to do it, and then But I don't know, like it was just really like if you don't think about it, you're fine. But once you start thinking about it, you're like, well, now that's hard.
And as we were talking in the shops, we were talking about it. The only reason why it's a bad thing is because we place human values upon animals. The only reason why it becomes a bad thing is because now we see these creatures as something else other than a food source. So it's very interesting how you go about that, because then all of a sudden you'll come into arguments with vegans who will use that, or people who are vegan or vegetarian for that reason, is to reduce cruelty. But that's only because they're bringing a creature up to their level. And what are your thoughts on that? What do you reckon?
Well, if you play it like that...
well, not everyone that eats meat, kills, they're not all cruel, when people are killed for, animals and stuff, it's not all nasty. You can do it in a humane way.
You can,
meat and stuff.
It depends, if you want to know where how your meat is slaughtered and stuff like that, you would probably find a free-ranged area, potentially, I'd reckon, a free-range variety, where you know that the animal has lived a good life. And you can know that it's been killed all in a humane way, not living life in a cage.
Not tortured.
Hasn't been sent to the chambers.
I totally get when those vegans or whatever. Get upset because the animals were caged their whole lives. Or they were shot.
Which is horrible.
That's nasty. But we survive on meat. Our bodies are meant to eat meat.
Well, we have been eating cooked meat for quite a long time, and our bodies have adapted. And the evidence does suggest that eating red meat is the reason why we've developed big brains, due to the caloric density of these meats and the iron and the nutrients that it provides in order for us to grow and get stronger and have our brain get stronger, because our brains require quite a lot of calories. You can't get those calories from a piece of broccoli in comparison per gram.
Exactly.
100 grams of beef is 10 times the caloric density of broccoli, probably even more than that. And you need that in order to grow, survive, and have a bigger brain. And so that's what comes with being the thinking man. What are your thoughts, man?
Well, I was a vegetarian for 3 years.
Yeah, and why?
Well, I've always been oversensitive to the whole killing animals thing. I have a very Aboriginal family, so they were always with kangaroos and stuff like that, and I was just kind of traumatized every time I saw it. So I kind of threw me off, and I don't actually like the taste of meat either.
Okay, because you were
I got really paranoid that I would get anemic if I didn't eat enough. And get enough iron and stuff, even though I was doing what I could to get the supplement from spinach and whatever else could give me that without having to take tablets and stuff.
That's interesting. Also, by the way, this isn't to slander anyone who is vegan or vegetarian. We're just discussing the idea of morals of eating meat. So I think it's pretty cool. It's interesting to think about. Every person I meet that does go vegetarian is generally due to the cruelty thing. So what would you describe as cruelty, in the aspect of the way your meat is treated? What do you have a line where you draw a line, or?
I generally try not to think about it too much.
So you basically remove yourself.
In grade 7, we watched this thing about how cows are taken and stuff like that to like the slaughterhouse, and like I cried and walked out of the classroom because I couldn't handle like watching this and stuff like that. So I try not to think about how like the meat and stuff is
produced and
and
like it is awful.
Stuff like that,
they are
because,
living animals, like they're creatures, like they have a life. Like, it's, you know, it is bad, but
like I catch, like I can never bring myself to do it, so I catch spiders and take them outside. Yeah. Even though everybody's like, kill it, like, oh no, I can't kill the spider.
Well, because you're not going to consume it. There's no use of it. Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, why kill this life? And then that sort of stuff. So I always have like that internal. It's like I know, like it's
like
always,
you feel bad. It's like
it's like it's a live creature. Like it's like if you hit a person, I feel just as bad as if I hit like a kangaroo. Or so it feels like I'll probably die swerving for a kangaroo. Yeah. Then you know, that sort of thing. Like if that's where I had to go, then why not? Yeah. But
so, like for me, like I love animals. Like absolutely love them. Like I would love to be someone who looked after animals, like and all that sort of thing. Yeah. But like I don't feel bad eating animals. Like, and if I had to, if like I was put in that situation where I had to hunt for my own food, I think I would.
Yeah, I've been considering that too, because I think that's probably the most moral way to deal with your food, because you know where it's come from, you'll know how long this animal's lived, and you know it's been in the wild.
Because like one of the like main arguments for vegan and vegetarian is like, oh, you wouldn't kill your own food, so why do you eat it?
It's quite presumptuous, I think. It's like, you don't know me, like, I will. Like, I'll go there.
Yeah, and like, I've thought about it, and like, yes, I love animals so much. Like, they're, you know, amazing creatures, they're smart, you know, all that sort of stuff. Yeah. But like, if I was put into that situation, like, I could definitely turn that off. Like, I could turn that guilt off. Like, I could eat and like, and skin something.
Do you reckon we've gotten to that point where we think animals and food in this way because we're so cushioned in our society, in a sense? Like, we're no longer exposed to this rugged world that it is. We've actually enclosed ourselves in cities and buildings away from all this.
We don't have to fight for our food. We have that choice of like eating just like vegetables and stuff. Like, we don't have to.
Yeah, because we've gotten so good at growing food and getting food that like it can come from anywhere now.
And you have more options to not eat certain things because there's so much variety and that sort of thing. Yeah. And like to be honest, I understand like if there was a way that, I don't know, like going vegan is like a really impressive thing because it's so hard to do, and finding hard, like the right foods to eat,
especially and to stay healthy.
And to stay healthy, and like has to keep your certain chemicals in your body level and that sort of thing. Yeah, like I find it really impressive. It's like I don't know if I could do it, but I could try. But I'm probably crazy.
Like I think like it's amazing that like you know what they do, but they shouldn't have to like force their opinions on other people either. Like
Oh, these are the extreme ends of people though. These are people who are putting political beliefs into their diet. Like it's become a tribe.
Yeah, and it's almost like its own. I guess. Because like I know some vegans and like they're really great people. Yeah. So. Yeah. And then like they don't
like it's a lifestyle choice. You don't push it onto someone else.
Yeah. I feel like also there's actually quite a deep online culture with veganism as well. Like, and then it becomes very tribal. And like you know, we're tribe vegan, we're more morally superior, therefore we can frown upon you guys. Like you get that vibe when you do see them online. Yeah. But when you get them individually, they're fine. Usually.
It's usually like anything in the crowd.
Yeah. Like they have like they're amazing that they can actually do that because they believe it so strongly that they cancel meat completely. Like, but that's a personal choice too.
Yeah. Yeah. So like I always think of how would it be if you were just tossed in just a random environment? You wouldn't know what plants you could eat unless you really knew your stuff. Because you know you can't eat meat. Yeah. And you cook it, like no matter what it is. Like if it's some sort of mammal, it's like, it's meat, I can eat that. Yeah. No matter what it is. But if it's a plant, like, is this poisonous? Yeah. Could this plant kill me? Yeah. Like, is this an actual edible plant? Like the leaves, like say, like fruit and vegetables, if you don't see them, because like a lot of them you don't really know where they would grow in the wild. Yeah. You know? So like that's like something I always think about. Like how would I find fruit and vegetables in the wild? Yeah, you would have no idea. Yeah, that's not a living creature because it's just easy because you know you can't eat to survive.
It's become, that's very interesting because like, that's how sheltered we are as a society, because since now we're so good at growing and all that sort of stuff, we can't actually identify the food in the wild and be able to survive on that. That's very interesting, I think.
Yeah. Like, and because most of it's done for us. Too.
Yes.
Like we just shop.
We pay for it.
Yeah. We don't have to do any of that stuff.
We don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't have to look for the right food or like, you know, plants and stuff, what we can eat. Like
Yeah.
it's already there for us.
Yeah.
Like I always, because like growing up, we always had a couple of fruit trees. Mostly a lemon and an apple one. Well, they actually produced fruit. So like when people are like, oh, I bought some lemons, I'm like, why'd you buy lemons? I'm like, because I was so used to having the lemons there on the tree that I could just go get for free. I'm like, why would you pay for lemons? I'll just give you a bag for free. But then like just like people don't have, a lot of people that live further in the city don't have fruit trees and
they
stuff
don't
like
have
that
room.
or that sort of thing. So like I guess I'd like think, oh yeah, not everybody has fruit trees because we live so far out and had those sort of things, just mostly lemons and apples, that was pretty much it. But I was just like having being able to grow your own food just felt like more, I guess, productive, or just like having it there and not having to go and get it and buy it.
Yeah.
And that sort of thing. It just felt really good.
Yeah.
You know? And like, it's like, oh, it was just here, I can go pick it up the
Yeah,
tree.
you can, like, you know, you grew that.
Like, I guess you could grow rabbits and...
No way.
Like, you just have this open
rabbits
pen.
are like pets now, so like...
Unless you where do you draw the line with pets? What's a pet to you?
Well, like, you know, like the rabbit, like, that you buy in the pet shop.
You can eat them, they taste damn good.
Like, they're feral to me. I think of a rabbit like, oh, that's just food for a fox.
Yeah.
I'm just like, that's my brain just like, and then like the pests.
Yeah, depends.
But then you have
like
your
the
pet
domesticated ones.
Yeah,
like,
and then you have those. I'm just like,
they have a name like Mr. Flopsy. He's real adorable.
And
like,
and they shit everywhere.
They're like the funniest
thing. I've seen a rabbit fight with like a little dog, and it was the most hilarious thing ever to watch. God. Like, it was the cutest pet that I've ever seen.
Like, I wouldn't hurt a rabbit, but I think, what's your purpose as a pet? Like, what do you do? Like, with a dog, like, it's more of a companion, and same with cats. It's like they have the...
But you can train a rabbit.
Yeah,
I guess
but you can use dogs as a tool. Dogs can help you get things.
Yeah.
Like, they can chase those rabbits and kill them.
Yeah, like, I feel like humans connect emotionally more with, like, cats and dogs, and, I guess, depending if you're around those animals more than you would, like...
I think we put place value on the animals that, like, that can actually... we can benefit from. Like, a cat can get rid of the mice in the house, a dog can get rid of whatever else is outside, guard the house as well. Like, it seems to be the animals that we've developed a use for more than anything.
Yeah, mostly like cats, dogs, probably like horses.
But like they're actually like sort of smarter though. Like, you wouldn't really catch a rabbit doing stuff for you exactly. Like, you know, like dogs and that you can easily train.
But I think I don't know where to go with that rabbit. I think it's more just a note, like you become attached to a creature that's real cute. That's all I can think of. Yeah, because you wouldn't want to kill a creature that's intelligent like a dolphin. You would feel terrible about that, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Or a pig.
Or a pig.
Yeah. Especially since they're so close to humans, like especially like organ-wise and stuff. Like.
And the only reason why is because they're smart. It's very interesting, I think.
Like some animals are so cunning and clever, and you're like, how are you not like a sentient being? Like, I don't understand. Especially when because we have like a Jack Russell's, and he just gives you that knowing look that you like.
Oh, he was a person in another life.
I think he's a reincarnated
He's
human.
thinking. You can see those processes.
So he'd give you the look, and you're like, oh, I see you thinking. I see what you're doing there, and you just get off and do.
If he was a person, he'd be such an asshole.
You see, you do see with like creatures like with us, like the only reason why we probably feel okay with killing something that is like a pig, like that is intelligent and all that is because they can't speak and they can't really say, you know, they can't talk to us or communicate anything that they really want. Besides through like physical action. So that's why we can deem ourselves somewhat
above everything.
Superior, as I pick my nose. Yeah, it's like with but there's plenty of creatures out there like killer whales. They communicate through noise and sound under the ocean. They have a whole different communication and language underwater because sound doesn't travel the same, so they have to communicate differently. So, and of course, I'd feel terrible killing a whale, and I have no idea why. The only reason why is because I think they're similar to us, and that's all I can think of. Anything else is.
But you wouldn't have a need to kill a whale.
No, and it's a lot of effort. You have to get a boat, big spears, and then all of a sudden you have to get like 10 people who are willing to risk their lives out in the ocean.
And you wouldn't be able to eat it all on your own.
Yeah, this is to feed like people who are desperate. Like that's a desperate animal. Like that's a last resort.
Yeah, and then a lot of like with that, like with whaling, I guess. Like,
I hate
there's
that.
over whaling, and then there's just so many species that are dying.
Yeah.
It's just like they're becoming extinct.
Yeah, like one thing I hate about like when people do that, or like same with like fishing and stuff, they take way more than they need to.
Yeah.
And it's like that's just not right. That's why people like things go extinct. Like we don't need that much.
What can we do about that? Because there's 7 billion of us and we all need to be fed.
Yeah.
And there's only so many creatures on this planet. We're gonna eventually we're gonna eat everything until there's nothing left. So how can
so much goes to waste.
Yeah, I know, because it's such a weird concept.
Yeah.
Because we need resources in order to live. But we don't understand, we don't get exactly the amount that we need. We get more than we need because it's better to have more than less.
Yeah.
And this ends up being a waste, and the waste is terrible because people don't value that food because they haven't really hunted it or gathered it themselves. They've just paid for the supermarket.
Yeah.
Do you reckon, does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like there's no value there.
Yeah, we've placed no value on the food we get because we don't actually get it ourselves.
Yeah, it's like with old back further, it was like with fashion, a lot of like species like died for their fur and like their color and like, that sort of thing. A lot of like the white tigers and just generally any like furred creatures like that were turned into coats and stuff like that. Yeah. And then like we recently got a book in at work about Tasmanian tigers. Yeah. And it's about one of the last tigers that were around, and like just that she was caged for so long, and then one night that somebody didn't feed her, or like something happened and she died and she was the last one left, and because of that careless act they became extinct even though she was the last one. And that sort of thing. It's just like because tigers were hunted as like prizes because they were so different, and and then just because like nobody was paying attention to what was happening, they just disappeared, and it's really sad. And like I got kind of choked up reading that book, and I'm like, that was really sad. And like just thinking about that the other day, and what it's just like so many things like this, like not unnecessarily, like it feels like the whole gaming thing has slowed down, or like a lot of fur coats aren't wanted as a lot now. Like that's something that we've worked on as
so many people have just been like, well, I'm not going to buy real fur. It's like actually killing someone just for their fur.
Like
just for fashion, not for use.
That's wrong.
Like we somehow like sort of worked out that aspect of over killing, but we haven't worked out like the food wise part, like of eating, like over like catching things just for us to consume, and like that way I guess is bad.
What are your thoughts on lab grown meat? Because they've started doing that.
I don't know, I kind of find it
how
like,
good is it for you though?
Thinking about
it's interesting.
that is disturbing.
It has to be tested yet.
I don't know, I just think anything grown in the lab is kind of
like it's not natural. Like you shouldn't eat it if it's not like from this planet, this earth. You should not consume it.
I think that's just because of like a mindset of avoiding poisonous food that we have in the back of our brains. Like we try to avoid something that is clearly new and different.
Like if like I guess if it's like, I know that some people like families like you could take it away me saying lab stuff's gross. Like like children that can't be born normally can grow like in like the tube or like that sort of thing. I'm like, that's just helping I guess a family have a child. But if it's artificial food that we have to consume,
but like we also eat correct. Like like chips and stuff. We eat preservative. Foods. That's got to be bad.
That's the same thing.
It depends on like the values you place upon things, because clearly growing a child different from growing something that you're gonna eat.
Yeah, but I don't know, like my brain just went to like, you could read it both ways, just because like my brain jumps from one topic to another. That could be.
And that's clearly because you place a moral value on both things. So you place the value that a child and helping a family is more valuable than growing meat in a lab in order for you to sustain your existence, because you can probably find other sources of food.
But like if we were to do that, then wouldn't like we overpopulate with meat, like like cows and sheep, and like wouldn't that just get out of control?
They'll eventually die of old age. All animals are eventually going to die anyway. Might as well fucking eat them. I don't know, man. I tried the whole vegan thing, but I felt terrible. Like, I had no energy. But I don't want don't comment. Yes, but where was I going with that? That left me. I had a thought. It involved the labs. It involved all that sort of stuff. Yeah, it may be bad for us because it hasn't been tested yet. And okay, let's find another loophole here. Okay.
Because I watch a lot of sci-fi stuff, so I always think of like. I'm gonna like go there because I can. In Star Trek, the Vulcans are vegetarians or technically vegans, I guess, because they have become one with like I guess they're like with their own animal species, and they think I guess it's like not right to eat another living creature, and they've kind of become higher than that, I guess, of their previous like their evolution of time, and I just like think it's interesting that like. In the future, a species like do evolve and want like a whole species as a whole, even though it's fake, it's fiction. Yeah. But like I think of it like how
that actually happen.
Yeah, and like how this race that's learnt to control their emotions can like have evolved in other ways to survive in the climates. Like,
so what do you reckon the next step for our kind is then?
Well, that is a good question because I have no idea. I feel like they're going to be technology based. This is how technology is evolving. Yes. And it's so scary, but like I want to live in an age where I'd like to know how technology would evolve, but I'm scared of how
it'll evolve.
How it'll evolve and how it affects our
how
planet.
It'll affect us.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, like I said in the very first podcast, I want to be a robot. Like when the tech comes, I want to slowly become a robot.
A cyborg.
Like I'll slowly replace pieces. Like my knee's fucked. I'll get a new leg. Like something like that.
Yeah, like I'd love to find it. Like I'd like do like I recently watched Aaliyah and like that was that's very cyborgy like certain things. And like that'd be so cool to have your brain hooked up to it. I'm like I could live forever. That'd be great.
And imagine what you could do. You could go to Mars. Like eventually we'll be colonizing Mars, and like you better go explore the galaxy and shit.
Yeah, and actually get to meet a Vulcan. I don't know.
Yeah, you get to do all those sort of cool things.
That's the things like I always think. Holly, it's only fiction. It's a TV show, but my brain's like, oh, one day like it'll be the future, and I could meet like a Ferengi and like trade in Latinum. I don't know. And like it's not gonna happen because they're not real. But
and like by the time you become a robot, you don't have to worry about the meat issue because you just plug yourself in a PowerPoint, and that's all you need. Like,
but then there'd be way too many people because no one would die.
Yeah, I'd just kill them all. What are you gonna like? What are you going to do with the population? Because like we're going to keep reproducing, and like how do you control that? Like and how can you deal with that with food? Hunger Games, just every now and then. Yes. This became very
just like every 10 years or so.
1940s Russian style. Just like, we'll just send them to some camps.
Like every decade on the decade.
Yeah.
And it's just like with like there's so many like I don't know if later on down the track if I ever would decide to have my own kids. Yeah. It's more like instead of having my own
just adopt.
And I'm like I'd rather save another child's life that's already on this planet than making one, I guess. Yeah. Like might have one child myself and then
like I totally get the appeal of having your kids.
I'd rather like give another kid that's already here the chance to have a life and like have my own child that way just because that there's no difference really like I don't see like the difference like why not help
save
somebody else save their like give the, or if I was stable or and like with money wise or home and whatever
I could give them a good life
like I'd rather do that and then like so like might as well just instead of like plaguing the world with more humans might as well just like
and that's a very modern Western thought because a lot of people in our generation are thinking like that. A lot of us are like thinking about like we're actually thinking about the cost-benefit analysis of actually having kids. Is it really worth it in like today's age when it costs you like $1 million to raise a kid? And like we better give that kid the best life that they can have, and you want that for your child. And like, is it even worth it bringing it up in a place where they might not even be able to live in the next 10 years? Like,
especially if you can't like even afford things for like yourself.
And So why have a child? Like, it's just it's very interesting. And then there's also studies saying how we're not reproducing as much anymore, so that's what's going to solve the population issue. But then eventually, like, we'll die off, then we'll start again. The cycle will start again, then we'll replenish the stock of humans. We're basically just replenish. This is a very tough issue to solve, because like, and I was thinking when I was in Melbourne. I know we're talking about miles of meat, but when I was in Melbourne, I was thinking about like, you know how people talk about like climate change and like. stopping using emissions and all that sort of shit, how are you going to stop 7 billion people from using cars? Like, how the fuck are you going to do that? Like,
you shouldn't have given them to them in the first place.
And how are you going to stop them from using that? Like what I'm doing right now, charging my phone. That power comes from somewhere. We use coal. And like, that does something to the environment. Nuclear power, boys. But,
Like, because, like, I can never remember which country it is, but this, like, I really need to find out who it is, because they're bloody geniuses, I reckon.
Yeah.
Like, they have so much they use so much of their renewable energy, and they even get other people's rubbish from other countries, and they recycle it.
Yes.
Like, who is this? Like, I can never remember. It's like a smaller country, and like these people.
It's probably like Sweden or somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know. And like Australia is such a freaking it's a ginormous island. We have so much water around it. Like all that water power we could use. Yeah. There's so much wind power we can use. And like, what's the other one? Wind, water, and something.
Fire.
And like, yeah.
We're already using that.
The sun, like the sun and stuff. Like the sun's always there. Like, and then like I know there is something to do with like solar. Like what's a radiation from the sun on solar panels? I'm not really sure about that sort of thing, but like wind power and water power, like why can't we use that?
I'll tell you what I've been looking into more that might be more effective than those. Like I said like 2 seconds ago, like, nuclear power.
I hate nuclear though.
Why is that?
Because it like if it gets out of control and something happens, then you pretty much contaminate your area around you.
What if we do it, like in Australia, in the case of Australia, if we did it like in the middle of the fucking desert where no one is, it won't affect anyone except for that desert area.
But because radiation travels too.
Yeah, but it's the cleanest, it's really clean energy, man. It doesn't produce emissions.
I don't know enough really to have it.
I'm still looking into it. But like, I've just started like, I'm actually I'm like what you are right now, saying like, if it does go off, there's big consequences. But if we do set up right, it's probably the cleanest and most powerful energy source we could find. Like, I'm still on the fence though. But.
Yeah, like because I know that Japan have nuclear. Yeah, because like what was the one that happened so many years ago where there was the earthquake or there was something to do with
tsunami. The tsunami came in.
And it hit one of those power plants and all that radiation. It was just horrible and like it was just scary and like those poor people and like it's such a small like country and like they don't really have anywhere to go and like that whole area was
had to be cleared out.
You had to be like
And this is where we become robots, so we can survive that. It doesn't matter.
I'm just like and then because the areas I guess in South Australia and they had all the old atomic bombing tests. And like the nuclear like I guess residue like isn't there, but it's like still is in its own low way. Like it's like low radiation. Like you're not really affected, but over time I guess it does affect you, and nobody knows that it's there. And like there's just so many certain areas around the South Australian Victoria area where those tests were done, where people get lots of cancers and stuff like that. And like I think. In a way that has affected.
We're going into like some conspiracy territory here.
Yeah, I don't know.
5G's gonna kill us, man. Telstra.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Like I used to get paranoid about that, but my friend used to turn it off every night. And now I'm like, well, it's all I have now. Like I use it as my alarm clock, but I still get paranoid and probably stress myself out about it.
The reason why like radiation is bad, like let's say ionizing radiation, which is like in your X-ray and explosions like that, is because it actually stops new cells from growing. So like when you go get chemotherapy, the reason why they give you that and they give you all that radiation is actually to stop the growth of the new cancer cell. And the problem with that kills your actually already living cells as well, which might also result in another cancer cell developing potentially.
That's why people get so sick.
Yeah, that's what, and because of the medication they take, and they get sick and then they take a medication called adansetron, which is a 5-STH inhibitor. I think serotonin inhibitor. It's very interesting. I'm going to go on a rant. No, never mind. That's the reason why it's so dangerous. But like, I feel like if we found a right way to control it and isolate it into like a distant area, it'd be an amazing resource. Because like I think we have like quite a huge stock of uranium here, and if we find isotopes of isotopes of uranium, Bob's your uncle. We've got good power. We've got clean power. And we can power the city for thousands of years. But it's just a little bit risky. Whereas like solar and water's good, yes. But like, would you rather have something more efficient that will keep us that maybe put us to the next level? I don't know.
Yeah, because it's like car, like I guess you couldn't go cold turkey from one thing and then jump into another. You have to overlap it and slowly gradually do it. It's a very gradual process.
That's what I
we
mean,
should at least
man.
Especially with renewable energy, it can only start off slow.
Yeah.
And has to build up over time. So we might as well start now while
we can.
While you can, and so we're not pretty much dead in the water with when we run out of coal, because the Earth can only produce so much, and it's just not fair. It's just
start riots.
Digging up the Earth.
It's gonna run out.
Yeah, and just even digging up in those areas is bad for the environment anyway.
It's destroying land.
Yeah.
It's interesting. What was I going to say with that? Yeah, that's what made me come up with those thoughts. Was that in the big cities, I'm like, we can't do it like that, because no one's going to adapt straight. Because if we cut out all the power and start from renewable energy, we'll basically be back in the 1930s, old Model T style shit. It'd be it'd be a different environment to adapt to, and so we have to slowly wean ourselves off and become renewable. That's why I'm actually thinking about just getting rid of my car and just doing the whole rollerblading shit and or whatever, because I feel like if I do, that's me slowly contributing to the fact that I want to now make things a bit more efficient.
That's what before we moved to where we are now, we used to live just pretty close, and I walked to work every morning. I loved it,
and you saved so much money too.
And I barely filled up my car, and the only time I would drive my car, because I could walk to the mall area, and I do most of my shopping there. I could walk down to the river, but then if I had to go the opposite end of town, I would drive.
Yeah.
But now I have to drive to and from work, and I'm I have to drive my car again. I'd rather not, but it's I could get a bike and drive earlier. I'm thinking of doing that, and doing that during the warmer months, just because I hate the cold. And I'll probably turn into an icicle before I get to work. But it's I really wish I had a car that could just live off of something that
Tesla. Elon Musk, my boy.
I don't know. Back to the Future when he puts
Have
the
you
banana peel
seen
in
one
his
of those cars? They are so cool.
Roadsters, oh my lord, they go fast.
I have to check them out. I think I did hear about.
Aren't they electric?
Yeah, they're electric, and they're so advanced. In their computer system, they have they can dance for you.
That's what I've seen.
If you find a good open space in a parking lot or something, you just go, let's go dance, man. They'll do a ballet dance.
And it would play with the music, the lights would go off and its doors.
Elon Musk has a good sense of humor.
Elon Musk. I think we had a book at work about him and his cars and just his stuff that he does. I'm interesting. I wouldn't mind reading this.
He's a fascinating man.
Yeah. And apparently he likes anime.
Yeah,
I've seen memes.
He's basically I've watched a couple of chats with him. He's very. You can tell he's a bit of a meme star. He's got his little subtle sense of humor.
Yeah, which is great. But I have seen things because of I see stuff like that through anime memes. How weird is that? That's how I get my world news through my anime. Or just say I follow an anime channel and I get and he does shout out to Lost Pause, because how I get my world news is through his channel. Just saying, but and then the Elon Musk stuff, that's where I get all that sort of thing. But it's just when I saw that, I'm that's kind of cool. I really would like to find out what this is actually about. Because anything that wouldn't have to drive a car that needs fuel, gas.
He sent a car to space just for shits and gigs. Sorry, just a side note, but he is a very forward thinking man, and I wish I had the resources to be able to do that sort of shit, because I'd love to be able to. Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'll tell you what, working for NASA, that'd be dude, that'd be fun.
Would be interesting.
Be full on.
So one day we'll have Teslas. It's fine.
Yes.
Because that's going to be the only option, electric. If we're going to sell everything, we want cars, and eventually we're going to have to go that. And then
that's what it should have been in the first place. It should have been electric.
Or we go nuclear power.
No. It proves how humans want to advance, become more advanced in certain technology, but then we're held back by ourselves in certain ways where we're oh no, we can't advance to the next stage. We're too afraid to do the next thing, even though if it's better for our planet or ourselves.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I think just humans are kind of broken, and some just don't know how to evolve mentally in a way to think for a more better solution. They're just so stuck in what they already know.
Do you think
which is easy and I guess comfortable, but sometimes you need to adapt to how the world's changing in a new way to be better.
Yeah.
In like, I guess, for humanity and the environment.
Do you think that's because we actually have to, like, instead of just saying, like, let's say, instead of just changing your profile picture, saying, let's save the planet, you actually have to physically do something which takes effort.
Yeah.
So, like, we get lazy.
Yeah.
Like, it actually takes physical effort to ride your push bike instead of jump in the car where it's nice and warm. You can listen to your stupid radio show. You can switch your brain off and you can go for a drive.
Yeah.
It's a lot different. And, like, making those changes are difficult if you are of that sort of mindset.
Yeah. You get
so it makes sense. Yeah, you get comfortable. We're too comfortable. That's where it comes back to the full circle with the whole moral eating. We're not exposed to how cruel this world really is. And then we just start thinking about we have to be kind to everyone. Yogi Bear's delightful. All that sort of stuff.
Like in a way, like the human race has evolved to like say the present day in a positive way, but then it has also in a negative way. Yeah. Like in certain aspects of like equality, it's like from where I stand in that, I see it's grown in a real positive way. Some things like people can they just seem to take too personally and all this other crap. Yeah. But
that's anyone.
And like everybody seems to like it's a lot better than what it used to be, where a lot of people were just outcasted and judged. Yeah. And then, but like in that sort of way, it's better now, and there's a lot more understanding. But in other things,
like everyone has to have their 2 cents.
Yeah.
Not all of it is meaningful.
Yeah. And like you're not that. Yeah. Person or you don't live their life, so but then in other ways it's bad. Like I can't remember where I was going with this now, but anyway,
keep going, just keep on the rant, man. Keep going, it's fine.
Yeah, like with like more of the technology and that way, like how certain things like cars and whatnot, like that hasn't really evolved positively, really. Yeah. But in more people wise, I guess it can and has over time. It's just like when you like I watch Murdoch Mysteries, which is based in the late 1800s, and like Murdoch the detective, he cycles everywhere. He rides his bike, and like just that, like it's just really because it's like around town. There's like cars every now and again, but not a lot. Still a lot of like there's a bit of especially in the earlier seasons, a lot of carriage and horse, but even though it was a different time, it's just like that's what they had to do to get around, and like it was better, really.
And everything's so much more convenient. Like, wouldn't you rather save time driving a car than riding your bike?
Yeah. I guess you have to wake up a little bit early in the morning to go. You have to suffer a little bit for the planet. And, So like I feel like So
I don't know. Yes.
I see where you're going. I see where you're going. Let's go to something fucking random.
Why not?
What are your thoughts on terraforming Mars? Should we begin living there? What are your thoughts?
No way.
Well,
why not?
Like because like there's no plants in that. Like,
no plants. No, that's why we're terraforming. So like we'll start. We'll develop an ozone layer over years.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's
an interesting concept to me. But like I've watched Doctor Who and it doesn't seem.
Because Doctor Who's always accurate.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It depends, because like that's some like if the it's sort of hard to say because I don't really know a lot about Mars. Like, what if there's something already living on there? Like, you can't just like terraform somebody's planet. Yeah. But I don't really know. Like, I don't really.
They've been there.
Yeah.
But there's no one living there.
Well, you know that's Martian Manhunter. They're from Mars, but we never knew they were there. That's the whole DC reference. But anyway.
Yeah, but that's a different thing, man. Yeah. That's cartoons. It's real life.
I remember they were.
One episode of Stargate. You know the one where they like try to like redo the entire planet to suit their own species.
Yeah.
Even though there was already advanced civilizations living there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was the only one that they could live on because of a certain atmosphere. Yeah. They could only.
It was very compatible.
Yeah. And then there was 2 species that ended up. Because both of them, one was there with this big technology terraforming this planet, which fitted their criteria, so then their species could live again on this planet. Yeah. But before the main characters come to this planet, or as they when they come to the planet and to save this other race, because they have a certain genetic thing, they could only be this planet was the only one suitable for their species as well because of their DNA. Yeah. And so. Because this other species already terraforming it, these other people were going to die, but because then they couldn't live anywhere else. So there's like this whole battle, like who could live on this planet because it suited both species, but one was changing it to fit them completely, sort of thing. And it was like really interesting how that like episode went about everything. Yeah. And
that's kind of what I imagine it would
be like. You reckon?
Mars.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Stuff already there, kind of thing.
I reckon it'd be a good solution for the population issue.
Yeah.
I tell you what, if you need some peace and quiet,
just go to Mars.
Go to Mars.
But it is like an interesting thing, like, and then being on another planet.
Yeah.
Living there.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
You can discover a whole new world. We become new explorers. You explore like, I just discovered this massive rock that has been here for millions of years, but I have named it. And like, something cool like that. It's great. I reckon it'd be fun. Little adventures, like, because to be honest, like our race has got. If we want to advance more, we're gonna start developing technology that explores the galaxy, and that's so we're gonna have to start digging our roots down in other planets in order to be able to explore more. Because like we're eventually gonna run out of resources here. Eventually, unless our species somehow goes kaput.
Yeah, and like or gets our shit together. Like that's one of the things that I really wish, like going back to Star Trek, like that they went over was how like Earth became the way it was. Like in Star Trek, there's no famine, and all that sort of stuff. And like I'm like, how did they come about this? Like even though about 100 like probably about 200 years from now, that's when like I guess like space travel and like what's the warp technology is invented, and that's how like the Vulcans noticed humans and stuff. But I was just like, how did the human species like battle like famine and all that sort of stuff leading up to the utopia it is in the Star Trek series? And like I just thought that was interesting. Like, how'd you get that?
They kept all the smart people. Yeah. and then they shot all the
they wiped out the rest.
Yeah. I don't know how you can do that. I can't even see how you can do that with today's society and today's people, because that's a lot of convincing. Yeah. But also it's 200 years, isn't it?
Yeah, I think
that's plenty of time to slowly wean shit off and start new shit. If we start now, we can become that. And it's a matter of just agreeing and like we're not all gonna agree because the species we are, we're stubborn as fuck.
And I think there was a party, and I think it was Deep Space Nine, where the actual year was 2040 or something like that. And like humans, like it was based in America, somewhere, and there were these, I guess, safe zones, and where people were sent, but in those safe zones, which was hidden from the rest of the public, were like the people had no food, like there was no health, and like they were just trapped in this area that was supposed to be promised all this good stuff, and then like obviously like they had gone back. The captain had gone back in time with a couple of his officers, and they're trying to like get out of it and fix what like the present, because apparently this event led into their future. But it was just interesting that like from where we sit, 2040 is in our future, but it's in their past. But like thinking, would something like this event actually happen? And like where all these people are sent to this one area and sort of I guess put aside and hidden and just discarded, or I can't really remember the episode that well, but like it was just interesting, like that's like
21 years away.
I could live this future in a way, I can't remember if it was
like
actually
what if this actually happened.
I can't remember if it's in 2040, like but it was something where close in my lifetime, like this is kind of scary, or like if like could these script writers, like I guess almost a way predict what could almost happen
or like
in our future. Because even though it's just fiction written for the story, but like it kind of gets your brain thinking like it's how still could
a lot of sci-fi has predicted like what could happen.
Like even the early Star Trek series, like with tablets and just even anything like that. Well, I think
TV remotes from another. I can't remember what. I think Star Trek. I can't remember what it was.
A lot of, and even just inventing things for film, like was created during the process of making the original Star Trek series. And then just bits of inventions that have become real things later on. It was just a story.
It's very cool how they do that, because if you just look at trends, you can kind of predict what could happen next. Like once the television was invented, anything's possible. And if you're imaginative and you can think outside the square, you can come up with many things.
Definitely.
Lateral thinkers are the best people, I reckon.
And like even the computer, like how much that's changed from being like a giant box to being like this tiny little
phone.
Into what we are speaking into now.
Pretty much. It's
like
insane.
Some of our phones are way like smarter than computers.
And they are recording us right now as we speak. Like they actually have you seen that shit where like they do the weird shit with the ads, like like you'll have a conversation about something, and all of a sudden you see on Facebook the ads for that thing you're talking about.
We were talking about Milan on Sunday, and the teaser dropped on Monday morning.
Yeah.
It was fucking terrifying.
Wow.
Yeah, I think there's actually there's a little program where like they try to find certain words you say, and like then they'll find advertisement. Or if you Google, like, I know Facebook and Google are linked, so if you Google certain things, it'll come up in your feed. But that makes sense.
That happens to me all the time, especially on Instagram.
Yeah, if you're typing, I understand when you're typing things, but it's kind of creepy if they're recording things you say. If it is true, because like that's very fucking out there.
Yeah, because like what was it the other day? My friend, she's into a lot of natural things, and just telling me about toilet paper that's wrapped in paper, so it's not in the plastic, and you can recycle and blah blah blah. I'm like, cool, I love that, like I love that idea, and so I got her to send me the link by Messenger, and then later on, probably a week or so later, because I didn't really go on the website, I only just opened the link, had a bit of a scroll through, and that was about it, and I still have to sign up, but on my Instagram, it came up with an ad for it. And then I'm like, oh, cool, that's what my friend showed me. And then, like, later on, it came up on Tara's feed.
You know what's really weird?
And they're like, hey, it's the thing I was telling you about. Yeah. Like, she didn't even, like, would have searched it.
No, I have not searched this. And, like, you told me about it. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's a really cool idea, saves, like, having plastic and shit. Anyway, and then, like, next minute, it's on my Instagram, and I haven't even searched it. Like, that's freaky.
And I'm like,
they're watching us, man.
Yeah. I'm like, what the hell?
Big Brother.
Yeah.
Oh, don't get me started on Big Brother. Like,
Man.
in China,
Here we go.
They've developed a web program where they basically watch everything you do, and like it's an algorithm that searches for certain words. Like let's say like if you say something against their current political party, the next day you might get a knock on your door from the police. Because you just committed a thought crime. It's become like it's very weird how they do that, and now they've got.
Don't talk politics then.
No, I'm not going to talk.
No. Like I meant.
Yeah, don't online, but like they've also started developing, I think, a dobbing culture in a sense, like where like you'll get rewarded points for how well you behave and what you do, and so like it encourages people to, be a little bit against each other and stuff.
That's so
I think they did that very much in like the early communism as well.
In Soviet Union,
when like the whole
and it still happens in some parts of
it's so scary and like there's no like
I'll do a whole other podcast now, but it's just
that's freaky shit. I hate that stuff.
Yeah,
it's like freaking.
That's how dark our human species can get when you try to make things fair that turns into dark. I don't know. It's just so weird because like the concept of communism is beautiful, but its application in the human species is disgusting.
Like this horrible things like happened during the certain times during, that too. Like it's just like the people just treated horribly and like there was just famine and it's just terrible and like people there was no value to each other. Like there was just no value against, I guess, everybody else's lives, just in general, and it's just bad things. I don't know, it's just horrible to learn about. But I guess knowing that kind of opens your eyes to things that do happen. Yeah. And it's just it's just sad.
People actually think that way.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
And to come back full circle, how's that any different from treating an animal that way? Because we treat animals the exact same way. Bada bing, bada boom, I'll leave it on that cliffhanger. We've been here for 40, 50 minutes.
Yeah, oh my God.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys. Say goodbye.
Bye.
This has been my channel, Matty G 111. Thank you so much for listening. I got a bit ranty there. It's good fun. So also, if you want to check it out, I do have a BitChute. That is another video platform besides YouTube, if you are unaware. Also, I have recently made a PayPal donation account. It'll get me better equipment than my iPhone and potentially have cameras so you can see our faces. Thank you. And if you're interested, please subscribe and just keep on listening. I'll keep making some content. I'm more than happy to talk shit. Goodbye. What?
Sorry, I just want to put some what's the word, Marin?
A plug. Yeah, you want to do a plug? Okay.
I just want to do that for a second. I do have, if anybody's interested, probably not, but I have my own cosplay channel. Oh, not really a channel. It's more of just on Instagram and Facebook.
I'll put the links in the description down below.
Yeah, it's Horii Sano, but on Instagram and Facebook, just because why not? Since I'm here, why not? We'll get some exposure. Anything for you? Got an Insta? No, anything knows it? Alrighty, peace, guys. Thank you.